offline. Oh, now we're live.
Yeah, finally we went live.
All right.
Okay, welcome back everybody. You didn't miss anything. So, that was unfortunate. Needed to
Yeah. So
restart the
we're
Twitch
still in.
studio. Hmm.
Yeah, we're still in the Havior versus Arcane Winds. Havior as the Terran and Arcane Winds, and we're about mid game, I would say. Um, and Protoss just tried some Reaver drops. They were able to get a bunch of SCVs, around 20 SCV kills, two Reavers. And yeah, that's about the recap of the game so far.
Yeah, and Javier should be behind at this game since he lost so many SCVs, but he keeping
Yeah,
up with production of SCVs. He even has third base, and
it's
Protoss expanding
yeah,
more.
it's him. It's gonna buy Arcane some time to make more units because right now he has a bit of dragoons, but that's about it. And if you compare it to Havier's army with the mix of siege tanks and vultures, I don't think it's quite enough. You want to have some zealots in there to tank the initial hit and maybe sneak through and get to those siege tanks. So I don't think he has enough in an army with just those dragoons
Enough for what?
to punch through the army,
But
to punch through
the
Havier's army.
I mean, he can do it at any point, but it doesn't seem like it's his plan. He just expanding everywhere and making units and waiting for Arbiter. So his plan is not to kill Terran right here and right now. He just have some small control groups around the map, waiting for Terran to make his move, and then maybe kill Terran. Actually, Archon Winds is the kind of player which could have built Corsairs actually as in one game against me, so he's kind of creative coming from StarCraft 2.
Even against Terran?
Yeah,
Corsairs? Yeah?
Corsairs with Disruption Web. I mean, the Disruption Web is the
Oh,
goal. You cast it on siege tanks and it makes them unable to attack for some time
yeah.
while they're under the web.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a very, very long time. I know it was a thing in the early like ASL days, like very early, 2006 I think, or before that. But I haven't seen it since then.
Right, but there were actually no ASL back then. It was OSL and MSL.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
ASL is modern thing with Africa coming to
yeah.
the oh, some vultures. You need those vultures for later. Yeah, you don't need to lose those vultures. But I mean, those vultures already spend those. There's spider mines, so maybe it's not a big deal. But it
And I
really doesn't seem a lot of Terran army. Where
Yeah,
is
but
his
I'm just
supply?
noticing that it's a nice little island of high ground there that he has all his army on. So not only is he in a good defensive position there, but this high ground makes it even harder for Arcane to take that position.
Yeah, it can be hard. And I don't see any arbiter yet. Okay, never mind. It's out now. And he's researching recall. Yeah,
Okay,
and this
yeah,
map is actually one of the maps where the main base is very wide open.
yeah,
But hold that thought, we have Terran moving out. He has 2-1 upgrades actually, but and pretty decent supply. Oh, zealot bombs going on, and there's only 4 siege tank at the front, but they're doing a lot of damage. Look at how many dragoons were killed. I think he's even focusing down those
That's
dragoons
mine.
which were clamped. And Archon Winds looks like losing a lot of dragoons. He lost all of his zealots, and it was correct decision for him to just retreat for now. He need those
Yeah.
arbiters just to force Terran to do something with those scans. He has decent amount of scans and even 2 science vessels. One of them is full.
And that was just not enough zealots.
Yeah, exactly what we were pointing out is that Protoss essentially needs those zealots in, to support dragoons, and
Yeah.
he's not building zealots. Okay, he does now, but still. And he's relying on those High Templars, I see. And I think it should work. Terran just turtling here, waiting for him to max out, maybe get another round of upgrades, and take another base here, closer to the center. Because, I mean, Protoss is not that way ahead in the expand count. It would have been much better for him if he expanded more so that he could afford to lose some bases.
Yeah, well, he's at +1 base. That's where you want to be as Protoss in PvT. And I would argue that he really needs more zealots. So if you have to choose between making a base or zealots, I guess it depends on how passive your opponent is. You know, Havier isn't making any sort of aggressive move. So yeah, maybe you're right. You have the time to take another base.
Yeah, but
But if
he
you're trying
need
to
to save his base since there's a recall at his main. And he even recalled some more arbiters there. And yeah, will he send all of his units back, or how is he gonna defend it? I mean, somehow he did manage to defend with such a small force. There's only 1 siege tank left. How did he defend it? That's funny.
Yeah, we saw some storms going down. It was. I have to say, I completely missed that first arbiter.
Yeah, I was following it but didn't tell anything. But there's a second recall here. But
Yeah.
but all of the, I mean, a lot of Terran units here, so I don't think it will do a lot of damage.
Although science vessel immediately spotted the dragoons.
Yeah, so Terran could start attacking immediately, and there's a lot of Terran here. So basically, Arcanine just slot a lot of supply here, so that can mm, give Terra an opportunity to move.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's gonna do now. Just build some more bases and move out. But it's still very scary to move out since Protoss can fly another Arbiter in and recall again.
And he did make a lot of arbiters. Those 2 stargates, he's usually using one, not both of them, but that was a lot of arbiters for those recalls, and he still has more, like you said, 3 more.
Yeah, only 9 gateways for Protoss and 7 factories for Terran. I think he needs to add more. And look at how many resources does Arcanine floating. He could have been maxed out, maxing out very fast if he did please build more gateways. But yeah. Anyway, it doesn't feel like a big deal now, but when he loses, I mean not loses, but exchanges his units with Terran, then it will be very critical to produce Dragoons and Zealot as fast as possible. So we see Terran moving out now since he has free 2 upgrades for his units, which is insane. This is as strong as Terran can get, but he needs to siege those siege tanks, no?
Yeah,
He lost
and
almost all
Protoss
of his
has the high
vultures.
ground.
It doesn't
Oof.
matter against Terran.
Yeah.
Those splash attacks of siege tanks is just too strong. And I don't see if Protoss is just using some opportunity for him. Because Terran is moving out. Protoss lost a lot of all of his zealots and like half of his dragoons,
Yeah.
and the production capability of his base is not enough. Oh, he catched some siege tanks here on the move, but Terran is already siege, losing some siege tanks to those zealots. Great job there by Arcanwin. So Terran need to grab those vultures and siege tanks in one clamp and just wait for reinforcement maybe. Look at how many siege tanks he left at the center of the map.
Yeah. Keeping a defensive line.
Yeah, losing a lot of vultures for free here. They need to be together with siege tanks for now. Yeah, just pushing and pushing and pushing, not waiting for his units to reinforce. Okay, but Protoss, yeah, bleeding his units as well, so it doesn't matter. He just seems like he just gave up.
Well, again, too many dragoons, not enough zealots.
Yeah, zealots are just melting against vultures, especially when they have 26 damage per shot. They are just destroying shields. Oh, missed the EMP here. But still, the stasis only on 2 siege tanks. I like how he stasis the tanks at the back,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. He doesn't have enough yet. He needs to gather some units. Maybe even give up on this base, but you need to get a bunch of zealots and dragoons and support with those arbiters with stasises. And I like how he uses his shuttles transporting his High Templars across the battlefield.
Yeah, that shuttle was hanging around trying to find a good opportunity, but didn't really find anything.
Yeah, let's see what's
And
the decision gonna be for Protoss here. He
yeah, the
doesn't have.
siege is begin.
Oh, unfortunate. Stasis here only on one siege tank. Try to catch maybe 3 of them, but it's really not so obvious how what AoE is for the stasis cast, you know?
Yeah, and that tank spread is good in the front. It has a he had a good spread there, so
Yeah, that as well. And I really like that Terran is still mining from his natural. Okay, never mind, Protoss do it as well, but by this point of time, I think natural is usually mined down. It's just very efficient resource gathering now.
yeah.
He's trying to
Is
zealot
that
bomb here, but it needs to be supported by some attack, maybe breakout. Okay, focusing down the science vessels, I like it a lot. This will
yeah,
allow him
that would
to,
be
mhm,
to use the arbiters, right?
yeah, the cloak field and stasis so that it won't get EMP'd all the time. Oh, and some sneaky attack there. So Terran is attacking all over the place. The right side of the map, killing a lot of probes there, disrupting the mining, and I think he can't break further because there are gateways there at that 3 o'clock base. But never mind. Protoss decided to break out, moving all of his army to this high ground. There are a bunch of stasis tanks, losing a lot of zealots and dragoon, but still managed maybe to kill. Look at how those ice cubes disrupting the AI of dragoons. So they get clamped and can move forward. So the siege tank splash is just destroying everything.
Yeah.
Terran still holds this high ground. Unbelievable.
Do you know if a frozen science vessel can still detect?
No, he cannot.
He can't, right?
Yeah,
So at least he had that going on for a little while, but there's more science vessel in the back.
it actually should fall on the ground since he can't fly anymore, but it wasn't implemented.
So he's gonna manage to slow down that attack.
Who?
Arcane slowing down the attack from it wasn't game ending just yet. Was able to kind of repel the attack, but lost his natural and his 3 o'clock base. So it's looking bad.
Yeah, but Terran attack is kinda slowed it down now. He's sieging these 3 o'clock base, but it doesn't disrupt the mining, and I think that Protoss can break out at any time he likes. He just doesn't feel like it yet. And some High Templar drop. Look at how many SCV he killed. There was this very large amount of
Yeah.
SCVs mining there. Yeah, it was all of his SCVs, and he's transferring even more. Yeah, great storm drop. I was thinking that he can maybe drop there something there, but I didn't think that he will think of it. Great job.
Yeah, good drop.
Yeah,
Oh, those mine destroying those dragoons there.
right. Very ballsy here from Earth. I mean, taking this expansion at the center of the map. He maybe need to take the 6 o'clock one, like where the mine is placed. You see the
Yeah,
red dot at the 6 o'clock, so that's the
yeah.
that's
I see the
the
mine.
base you need to take as a Protoss now. And Protoss managed to break out from the 3 o'clock base, so he will re-establish the expansion. And I don't see a lot of siege tanks for Terran actually. Yeah, there's only like okay, they are all over the place. But Protoss is also taking breath, you know, waiting for his army to get out of gateways and
Head out. But he doesn't have that much mineral stockpiled, so can't really rebuild all that fast.
yeah, because he's mining only from one base yet.
Yeah, well, he did just lose 2 base, so
Oh, and those storms will be huge. Oh, those vultures, they are like hydraulics, dying
and
very
that
fast.
oh, good freeze there. Wow, everything's frozen.
But those vultures, they are actually enough. Look at how many High Templars there are. Unfortunately, they can't attack, so you need
Yeah.
to either morph the Archon or cast Storms, but there's a possibility that you're gonna storm your own units like he does, but still.
Oh, that mine is gonna.
When you have so much gas, it's probably something you spend it on in the first place. Yeah, he has 2600 gas, so you either build a lot of arbiters or spend it on high templars. But high templars, you don't actually need very much of them, very many. You need
No,
some.
not in PvT.
Maybe if you manage to harass with them, like do some high templar storm drop, then it's fine. But you don't need like control group of high templars. They will get killed very fast, and it's a waste of gas in this case. Cool. Yeah, it
Those
seems
zealots
like
took
those
out
zealots.
some good tanks there. It was like 5 zealots took down most of the siege tanks in the front row.
Yeah, doing a great job, and I don't see a lot of units for turn. He is also mining from one base, and he's not rebuilding any expansion. While Protoss is expanding. If Terran now, but I mean, Arcan Ruins is behind in supply. Like he has only half of Terrans.
Probe, yeah, his probe count is pretty low.
Well, it's okay for one base, but now he will expand and he's gonna need more. And I don't see anything Protoss can do now. He doesn't have resources in the bank and he's not
Yeah,
producing a
running out
lot.
of mining area.
Yeah, he was bleeding a lot of units. Great game by Terran, managing to take out some bases, you know, attacking at the
Yeah,
6 o'clock, at the 3 o'clock,
at
at the
the
same
same time,
time.
yeah. Surviving those initial river drops and storms.
Yeah, imagine how game went if there were no river drop here. And he managed to get the economy as he did get it, like before river
Yeah,
drop.
it merely slowed him down.
And now we see some last attack here, yeah. And GG, Arcanwind lost his first
Yeah.
game here. And we're just gonna go for game number 2.
So win by behavior again for Cheese Police.
Yeah, just Cheeseball is looking strong.
Yeah. I want to see it on game 2 now, on a more standard map. See how that will play out. I feel like these two players are a bit higher level than what we saw previously, or faster in their execution. So I'm curious to see on a more standard map what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I agree. Oi, I started the game without you.
Oh no!
I'll just leave. Sorry, viewers.
Getting excited there to watch the next game.
Yeah, very exciting first game. So, another Terran victory here. You can join.
I don't see it yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
I
on
don't see it
Europe.
again.
Okay, I'll recreate now. It's gonna be fast. Okay, hop in.
All right, I see it. Let's go when you're ready.
Okay. Okay, so game number 2, Polaris Rhapsody. We have Arcanwind spawning as the blue Protoss at the top left against Javier spawning at the bottom right. I think I have problem with game capture here.
Yeah, we're seeing a black screen.
Okay, fix that. Yeah, and actually pretty interesting that Terran went to factories, didn't succeed, and then still managed to I even lost 20 SCVs or so and still managed to win that game.
To recover and win, yep.
Yeah, it just shows that maybe Arcanwins is not still into the game, maybe.
He was a bit slower on the production earlier on, and that mix of Dragoon, and I keep repeating this every week. If you have only one type of units, it's going to be easy to counter.
Well, to be fair, he didn't have a single type of units. He did have zealots, but zealots are the units that die first, and then there's only Dragoon left, so you need to retreat and wait for more zealots.
In
And
the later game, yeah, but in the earlier game, we saw just a low amount of pure Dragoons.
because if you don't feel like killing Terran right away, you don't need those zealots. You wait for Terran to like move out maybe, and then you get more zealots, you know. Dragoons are more useful because they can kill mines and catch vultures and defend against vulture harass. And zealots are just useless,
They're very
especially
tanky.
without speed upgrade. But if you get a shuttle and 4 zealots, then it's a completely different story. You can break turn right away, as we saw a lot of times. Especially I saw since I play turn.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
some pretty cool Zealot plays. If you split them into two waves, have the first wave just be basically cannon fodder to open the way for the second wave to get in range of the tanks. The first wave messes with the vulture. They're there as like a distraction, and the second wave sneaks by and gets to the siege tank. That works really good. That's the that's the play I try to go to in PvT.
Hmm.
But you do need like speed for that to work.
And before we get into some action, I wanted to point out that Arkenwin played only once for his team and won against some Zerg. I think it was against BBS team, and it was Intion maybe. Yeah, I think so. And
Okay.
Javier didn't play yet for his team, so I don't actually know. I don't actually know. But seeing his game like against Arcanwin first match on Ascension, it feels like he's a very solid player. Maybe even tier 1 material, I would say. I feel like he's stronger than tier 2 players.
So
Maybe even
high
some tier 1
compliments
players.
there.
Maybe, yeah. But he didn't play yet, so maybe he was added this week or last week. Oh no, he couldn't. He wouldn't have, right? Because you were all added just for week number 5, not week number 2, 4. So he was just didn't
Yeah,
feel
week
like it.
5.
Yeah, he didn't feel like playing at week 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, let's see how it goes. And we see DT drops actually for Protoss. I somehow wasn't paying attention,
Yeah,
and
that archives is finishing.
that's actually a great decision against the opponent because Javier, as we saw at the first game, didn't make any detection before uh, observer were out. You know,
Yeah, and that's quick thinking on Arcane Wind's part,
yeah.
adapting right after on the next game.
Well, I don't think it was adapting because I don't think he had time to watch the replay and prepare and think about that.
That's why it's quick thinking.
And I was reading the chat, and it seems like Javier scouted the Robo and decided that it's gonna be a river job instead of DT drop because maybe he didn't see the citadel. Didn't see the citadel, you know. So he's placing his marines at this room behind the natural, and if well, he still has mines, you know. Maybe it's gonna be fine. Oh, he even gets Goliath's range
Goliath.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Range upgrade I don't like. Do you really need that this early? Before you even have siege mode? Well, let's see how it goes. So DT got dropped. I think Javier
Yeah.
just shed his pants because it's usually what do I do? What do I do? I don't have turrets. I don't have scan. If I place mine
Yeah.
here, then all my SCVs will blow up. You know, it's very risky now
Pretty
placing mines
annoying.
there.
Yeah.
He has only one mine. He's placing it, but it's not gonna be enough to kill the DT. Okay, some.
Oh, and the mine hits some SCVs.
Yeah, I mean, you can sacrifice one SCV. It's not a big deal. But he needs to build more vultures just to get rid of that DT. Imagine if
That.
it would have been like 4 DTs. Oh
Yeah.
man, that would have been tough to deal with.
That's going to be annoying.
And funny thing is that he didn't even need it to drop it, since there was no detection at the
There was
natural,
nothing yet. He could have walked down that ramp.
and there were no mines. Maybe he was afraid of the mines.
That's yeah. That's probably why.
Maybe Arcan Wind was supply blocked and couldn't build second DT, but in this case, maybe it is. Maybe it's even a good decision to kill 2 probes just to free up supply for DT. You know.
Yeah. And you're not really looking to end the game with that kind of play. You're just looking to perform a early game harassment play, just to kind of harass, piss off the other player,
Well,
get a small early game advantage,
I don't
and
agree
that's
here.
great. No,
No, DT are the kind of unit that just can end the game immediately against.
they can
You
if you go
can.
all in, but you don't have to. I think,
Exactly. You don't even have to go all in to end the game right now. You just deal a lot of damage, and there's a control group of Dragoon walking to your base because
yeah,
you don't sacrifice anything to go to those
that's
DT.
that's what I was kind of gonna follow up with that. So the standard play, right, is you do an early game play against Terran, or you defend against an early gameplay, and that puts you in a position for the mid game. So you don't have to go for ending the game with the DTs. You can use them as a just a way to get ahead in the early game. But to make the most out of it, if you're not gonna use them to end the game, you gotta use that little play there, that harassment play. You have to use it to your advantage and do something while that harassment is going on. You gotta keep making those dragoons. You gotta keep making that army to make use of that harassment.
Yeah, usually it goes like you're saying, but in this case, and in many other cases, it's just so easy to end the game immediately when you GT drop and there's no turrets and no scan, and there's only one vulture with single mine. It's just if there were 2 GTs, I think there's just nothing to do for turn. And some High Templar drops, killing
Storm
3
drop, yeah.
SCVs and
Oh, what a good storm! What
giving
a good storm!
killing 9 SCVs in total. Yeah, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah, great play here by Arcanine, harassing here and there with deities, with High Templars. Yeah, great stuff. Really savage player.
yeah.
And let's see. He took his turret, Terran just now scanned it. And what's gonna be his decision? He doesn't have a supply lead or something, especially since he lost a lot of SCVs, he need to rebuild it. And he only has 2 factories. Vultures are still slow.
And it's a great position for the Protoss because you're forcing the Terran to make turrets, you're forcing him to make new SCVs, you're forcing him to spend money on scans, you're getting into his head. Now he's worried about drops, and not only did he do a Arcane do a Dark Templar drop, but he followed it up with the Storm drop. So now you know that you're playing against a Protoss who's not scared of doing drops, and you have to spend money against that. Like
Yeah,
psychologically, it
exactly.
must be satisfying as a Protoss player to be in this position where you can truly harass the the Terran player.
Yeah, and the opposite for Terran. When you got harassed at every place, you just making mistakes, getting yourself supply blocked, and not controlling well, forgetting to add more factories or produce a CV or send them to minerals. I mean, those stuffs, those stuff pile up, and this is what makes the game good or bad for you. But
Protoss now on 4 base against 2.
oh yeah, he will be soon, and there is an opportunity for Terran to take another base, at least this mineral only, at 6 o'clock, but he just he's just sitting there, you know.
Yeah. And I had this feeling that with a more normal map, Arcane Wind was going to shine better, and I think that's what we're seeing here. This is going like I thought it was going to go.
Well,
Looks like a very, uh, well, I was gonna say typical PvT, but when Dark Templars are involved, I don't know if you can call that typical, but um, it's going into a longer game, is what I should
yeah,
say.
not typical star, but typical mid and transition to late game. Only Turn is not expanding yet. He just committed to base play for now since he added 5 factories. He won't be able to catch up on supply number, but still, when he will be up on upgrades, it will be a very scary army for Protoss to deal with. And Arcanwin is still on 7 gateways. When he will
Yeah.
be mining from 4 bases, it's not gonna be enough. Like in the previous game, we saw him floating 3k minerals.
Are you seeing this pincer?
Yeah,
Arcane Wind has dragoons on every exit.
yeah. If it was TVT, then it would have been just lost game for Terran right now. Terran, like blue Terran, would have just built a ring of turrets so that dropships won't fly out, and just siege at those 3 exits, and it would have been game. But there is still possibility for Terran in TVP to move out. You just need to select some exit and mine out, like place spider mines on other
Yeah.
chokes, like leading to 6 o'clock base, for example, and this narrow bridge, and then just move up and kill some expansions. And it's actually wide open for this corner base of Protoss, but vultures can get out, no?
Well, Javier knows that he has dragoons on the right side because he's just scanned them. He also knows that there's dragoons on the left side because of the mines.
And
I don't know
also
if
he
he's
lost some
aware.
vultures there.
Yeah. I don't know if he's aware there's something across the bridge. I didn't catch anything. I don't know if he knows that there's a welcoming party on the other side of that bridge.
Maybe he,
Probably suspects it, but he does know that both sides are being watched.
yeah, he knows everything what's going on. Wow, Protoss so ballsy, even expanding at the 7 o'clock. But what's he gonna spend that gas on? What? 4 Stargates. So it's gonna be mass arbiters from 4 Stargates. So he can just stasis whole of Terran army and maybe even SCVs just to make an example of it. Are you here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're just so silent, I thought you dropped out.
No, I was listening in. I'm just so happy to see that reinforcement wave of zealots coming in on the right. A bit disappointed by Arcane letting those vultures sneak through the left there. I would have liked to see the right side kind of push in from behind and try to attack from behind and maybe not cross the bridge, but maybe consider doing it and just kind of squish in on Javier while he was moving. Because now he managed to sneak on the left side and um,
Yeah, and the problem for Protoss here is that his army is all over the place, you know. It's some
yeah,
very small force for Protoss at this side. So Terran clears this out very easily, losing just like 2 control groups of vultures maybe a lot less actually.
yeah. That was a good amount of zealots, but just not enough
No,
numbers in general.
it was only 10 zealots, but yeah, it wasn't enough against that amount of vultures. And now Terran feeling comfortable since he can now expand here, maybe move further, and that army of Protoss on those other exits just not doing anything.
Yeah, not
Terran,
doing anything.
smartly Terran just left his units in case Protoss decides to move in. Oh, and there's a recall at his main. Will it get casted? He, he couldn't find
Just
where
in
to
time.
cast it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, killing
That
a lot of
storm ready to
SCVs.
go on the SCVs. Another storm goes down. Good SCV kills.
Yeah, living Terran only on 38 SCVs, and those science vessel at the 6 o'clock he's just gonna lose all of them. He didn't send it with all of his army. Yeah, lost like only 2 science vessels, and Arcane Win losing his arbiters in reply. Oh, losing that tank at his main base for free, but still managed to defend that recall. I'm surprised that he didn't build a lot of turrets before moving out, but I mean, he can't do anything. Instead of turrets, he built a lot of supply depots. Maybe he just missed the hotkey, you know? Wanted to press BT, but get used to pressing BS. Anyway, that recall would have been more huge, but I felt like he didn't prepare like clump of units to recall and get recall something
Yeah.
whatever he got, and that is pretty scary army of Terran. Yeah, because Protoss is all over the map. He can't attack like this. You need to gather all of your army. Yeah, now Terran
Yeah,
can
he's
just,
starting to move them, but they won't be really there in time.
yeah, exactly, and it's gonna be too late. Terran can just A move there. You know, he doesn't need to siege even.
Yeah.
And he will siege anyway because he's that cool.
giving a chance for the arbiters to cast some stasis. Good amount of stasis. There's only 2 tanks left.
Yeah, where are the science
Not
vessels?
allowed to
Science vessels were
clear.
gone somewhere, but it wasn't even all of Terran army. Those were. He can't even
So those tanks are
try to save.
probably doomed.
No, he can't even try to save those siege tanks if he sent all of his units there and siege outside the range of dragoons, you know.
Yeah, that
But
stasis does last a long time, so he has some time to position tanks to try and rescue them.
yeah, but
It's a hostage situation.
he kind of need the vultures to support that defense.
Yeah. Oh no, and the reinforcements are also going to get picked off.
Yeah, something went wrong for Terran there. I don't even actually know what. Maybe those stasis were too strong. His units were too clamped up, and yeah, now there's gonna be a very hard time for him. But I mean, the game was still hard for Terran since he didn't expand, but he was relying on the 2 base push, which got delayed with the recall.
Yeah, and all the drops in the early game, those Terran wasn't able to really have time to think about expanding.
Yeah, no, it was just his plan. He did had opportunity to expand, but maybe even defended base. But very great game by Arcanines here. Just whole game keeping Terran on 2 bases and then exploiting, clumping the siege tanks and
Yeah,
stasising them and just clearing everything out. Now Terran is mined out everywhere, and yeah, I don't feel that there's a way for coming back.
arbiter plays here. We're seeing some really nice arbiter action this week.
Yeah, it's very scary for Terran to deal with arbiters because the possibility of the recall itself is just too much. There is nothing scarier than recall at your main. And then there's a possibility of follow up of stasis at your ramp. You know, he can
Yeah,
just place a dragoon there and cast stasis on it. That's just most dirtiest trick in the world. And you can't even just go back to your main to defend because of that.
you're stuck behind that ramp.
Yeah.
We didn't see that yet, but that could happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe even Arcanwin could show us that at the third game. We can only hope.
That little clump of unit there makes me believe that he might be thinking about another recall.
Yeah, gonna.
Because that's a dangerous clump if you don't see the siege tank going up.
Terran just trying to bait some units to attack, but I think if Protoss decides to attack his army now, he's just gonna lose. Uh, or is he? Well, Protoss can
Yeah.
afford just to lose all of his army, and he even transitioned to carriers. I missed the
Wow.
fleet beacon. Yeah, now maybe it's gonna be even faster win now.
Yeah.
Nice
Instant
job.
GG.
Didn't see that coming. Hop. Yeah. Let me change the score. So Arkham taking a victory for Pacific Fire. But it doesn't matter. He need to take this serious. So that he's
We're gonna move on to game 3 for the first time today. And I have an invalid password. All right, I got it. Think you Round is having a little bit of technical issues here.
yes.
Someone
Somehow I
stole
what?
someone stole the CPL game.
Yeah, I can't create. Ah,
Yeah, someone created it.
okay. Then CPL 2, password 1.
All right.
Oh wait, it's another Polaris Rhapsody game. Never mind. Here we go. Hey Superman, nice to see you.
CPL 2.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
Good
let's.
old fighting spirit for match number 3 in the finals between Javier and Arcane Wind.
And we have Javier spawning at the top left of Fighting Spirit.
And our Protoss Arcane Winds winner of game 2 in the bottom right in the blue Protoss.
I was wondering, have you played a lot of Fighting Spirit at some point? Or you just
Yeah,
this new to the game and haven't
yeah.
get to this area of Fighting Spirit?
Fighting Spirit is probably my favorite map.
Yeah? When did you
It's like
play?
my
When did you start
every
playing?
time I use it for practicing. I use it for add a few like random games, and I I ask for Fighting Spirit just because it's just so standard.
Us talking about standard, look at how early the probe got out of the base just to place the pylon closer to the center. So it's gonna be proxy gateways.
Yeah,
Ouch.
looks like a proxy gateways.
Arcane Wind. Sneaky, sneaky. Oh, what do you mean, Arcane Wind? Where are you sorry? So, yeah. Actually, there is a possibility that Terran can scout it if he moves across the map. Oh, yeah, but I mean, in the match game, it's victory is a victory, you know? And you just do whatever you must to take the series. Even Mini against Larva, if someone didn't see it, spoiler alert, when the score was 3-3, just decided to go proxy gateways, you know, and he didn't work out well, as we all know. But against Terran, it should be much more easier to do decent damage, decent amount of damage.
And people are noticing in chat that those gates might not be in the optimal position in the center of the map. I guess they are scoutable, right? Because they're right outside the entrance to the natural, the bridge.
Well, kinda, yeah, but it's equal distance to other bases, and it's slightly closer than the if you place them at your main. But yeah, the center of the map is just meant to be the place where you build your proxies. BBS or something.
Yeah, we're gonna see that those two zealots not being supported by the probe. You know, a thing you can do is have that probe behind the zealot, and it kind of gives him the equivalent of a +1 upgrade. But it's not always easy to do.
Yeah, I don't like the SimCity of Terran. The barracks command center make the impossible wall for Zealot, but there is no other uh, choke, for microing. He needed
Yeah,
a supply depot to the right of the barracks.
there was just nothing to block that
When
ramp.
he's just losing the SCVs now. No, I mean he could have built his buildings more smartly, and it would have been easier for him to defend. Now he can get the vultures, but it just seems a lot of zealot. Usually, in the situation like this, I immediately place the bunker between command center and refinery, get out one vulture, fly the factory closer to the bunker, and then just micro between bunker and the zealots
Yeah.
back and forth. He managed to defend it, get two vultures, and if there is no lag, then those zealots are gonna get out microed easily.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go too good now for the proxy gateway.
Yeah, he can't even get in now to kill SCVs anymore since there are just too many vultures. I think he needs to send those vultures as soon as possible, but I mean he sees that there's a pylon wall at the top of the ramp of Protoss, so there's no, well, there is a possibility that he can sneak through, but a single Dragoon or Zealot is gonna block there, and even Probe can get there and build another pylon to finish the wall.
Yeah,
So,
that's an interesting ramp wall there with the cybernetic core.
oh, and Terran even scouts the Citadel of Adun. Will Arcanwin cancel it when SCV got killed? So it's gonna be just like fake DTs, you know? Yeah, he did
Yeah,
cancel it.
and yeah,
Sneaky, sneaky. I like how Arcanwin plays this game.
putting a robotic facility instead.
Yeah, so what's gonna be the response for Terran here? He's researching mines. He needs maybe to wait for mines to finish and then move in. Yeah, vultures without mines are just useless, especially since there are closed choke there. So instead of Citadel of Adun, he decided to place robotics, as you pointed out.
Yeah,
And I see engineering bay for turn very timely. And let's see, where does he put his mines? He probably should mine gateways just to make sure those DTs will blow up, and maybe some path towards his main turn can mine just in case some DTs survive. Oh, only one mine go off. Okay,
yeah. There's the one remaining.
and we see Protoss expanding, Terran putting down his command center down at the natural. He just expect himself to defend against DTs easily since he now has his engineering bay and placed his mines all over the place. Tries to run by with vultures, and he actually managed to get them in while movement speed upgrade kicked in. He need to micro them. Not losing two probe drill. Actually managed to kill a lot of probes there. Only 13 probes left for Protoss. I didn't catch how many was there before that.
Yeah, I didn't count either, but that was an attack on the on the probes, and I think he was able to see the observatory and the robotic facilities from that.
Yeah, and the lack of Citadel, you know.
Yeah.
So his siege mode will be in time, but it doesn't seem like Arcanwin is moving to attack. He still has gateways. Will he add his gateways in the center of the map? That would have been funny. He probably will build more at his main soon enough. He needs to rebuild the probe count as soon as possible. 19 probes is not enough for 2 base to be fully saturated. Okay, so Terran is just holding his position and setting himself up for 12 o'clock expanding.
Yeah. And we see there was there was a bunch of dragoons missing at the entrance, right? So now they're in position. They're doing their typical Protoss job of making sure Terran is somehow not allowed to just roam freely around.
I think Protoss now sees that there's only one factory if he moves the observer, and this can like tell him build a shuttle and maybe break Terran with the zealot bombs, you know, bulldog style, as it was called.
Yeah, and we're seeing 2 turrets by the bridge.
2 turrets, okay. So in case
So
there is gonna be shuttle, it
yeah,
will gonna
I
be
mean he
killed.
knows. Yeah, he knows it's not gonna be Templars anymore, but that doesn't mean there won't be some other kind of drop.
Yeah,
I don't
shuttle
think
with
there will
zealots is
be
very
for a while.
scary.
Don't
Yeah,
think there will be for a little while, but he's gonna be ready. Probably remembers game number 2.
what do you mean?
Well, there was a lot of drops.
Oh yeah, I forgot already. Yeah, it was epic. And I think, as you were mentioning, it did a lot to distract Terran so that he was supply blocked a lot and wasn't maxed out early enough to punish Protoss for expanding this much.
Yeah.
And it seems like Terran is waiting for something, expecting maybe some drop. Look at how many turrets he's building all over the place. Wow. But there is still observer just seeing everything, actually. Seeing 5 factories, and yeah, those those turrets at the perimeter of his base just won't prevent observer to observe doing his job.
Yeah, because when you know how many factories uh, your Terran player opponent has, you can just counter that with making as many gateways as you need, and
Right.
that's good information to have. If you get that information for free, keeping an eye on the number of factories at all times, that's good. That means you can easily track of how many gateways you need, how many units you need to be producing. That's good, and you can also catch like the upgrades. Maybe well, none in this case, but yeah, that's great just to have this observer
Yeah,
roaming in the
and
main base.
another thing that Protoss needs to look out for is some ninja expansions for Terran, you know, because as we see, there's fog of war at the 2 o'clock, you know, at the other corners of the map.
Yeah, 2 and 9. Yeah, there's nothing there.
Yeah, you just need to check what's happening there. Maybe send some probe there, or put some zealot on patrol. At least that's what I did when I played Protoss. And when you have observer, you can just make one observer or maybe two observer just patrol on the side of the map just in case to see some drops or sneaky expansions. One observer on the main base of Terran is great, but I mean, you even need one observer at the exit of Terran base just to know when
Absolutely.
he's gonna move out.
Yeah, very, very important. That's probably the most important piece of information is to know when Terran is moving, because that's when you want to hit.
Yeah, especially in this game when Terran just put down 6 factories. He's even up on supply now.
Yeah,
And if like minute earlier Terran decided to move out, he could have just moved across the map uninterrupted and siege very close to Protoss natural. Kill those gateways and he will be on 6 factories against only 3 gateways, you know. And he would have killed a lot of Protoss army since he doesn't have any zealot. Okay, he has a zealot. Okay, so Terran kind of moves out. There's a attack on the 12 o'clock, but there's no expansion there yet. And I don't
yeah.
like what Protoss is doing here. Bleeding his unit, not paying attention probably. And his army once again is splitted between those two locations, and he lost all of Dragoons at the center of the map, but there's a bunch of them at the 12 o'clock.
Probably got busy with the 12 o'clock attack and lost everything else.
And where are his probes? There's almost none at the main base. Okay, never mind. Terran is moving out. He's gonna kill those 2 gateways, and that will leave Protoss only on 3 bases. I mean, he has 42 probes, but either way, he should have put more gateways. And is he producing zealots? Only 4 zealots. Actually, Shuttle could have helped
Or
him.
Dragoons.
And I like the decision to catch the reinforcement, but it seems like he just decided to move in. But there's just too many vultures and not enough zealots. Yeah, all of the zealots are just killed now, and there's only siege tanks left. I mean, dragoons left. And
That pincer won't work.
man, it's just not enough. And meanwhile, Protoss decided to expand even more. And yeah, he did build a shuttle. That's great, but he need to load something there. But there's
He
no
needs to,
zealots yet.
yeah, you need to survive this attack to use that shuttle.
Well, the way to survive the attack is to use that shuttle. So yeah, those Dragoon are just doing nothing there. They're not even catching the reinforcement of Terran.
We got that science vessel also
Yeah,
also
very
ready in
useful.
position to detect anything.
Yeah, and Protoss is just wide open now. He can even Protoss can even send vultures to his 6 o'clock base, since there are no photon cannons or pylon wall. And yeah, there's a ravage going on at the
The natural,
Protoss
yeah.
natural, yeah. And I like the Zealot bomb dragging some mines and even attacking from behind, but I once again it just doesn't feel like it's enough. Yeah, lost a lot of probes and gonna lose even more since vultures are coming to the 6 o'clock. Losing his Natural Nexus. And those zealots bomb. Yeah, you just need to unsiege and they won't do anything. Let's see, he's just trying to survive some more, relying on the 7 o'clock expansion, maybe. But there's only 6 gateways. It's not like he can afford more. Those zealots are trying to blow up
Yeah.
that siege tank, but just dying too fast because vultures and tanks are upgraded enough. 2 upgrades for Terran, and you feel like it's not enough Terran here. Here's more.
Not giving up quite yet, but
Yeah, holding
you
the
had
high
this
ground.
this last line of dragoons, right? Holding the high ground. They're not gonna hold forever.
Yeah, there's just no way to hold against siege tanks, you know.
That core is gonna go down, and
Hmm. No more
now there
dragoons for you.
no more dragoons. Those probes being massacred. And I think this is going to be the end for Arcane.
It seems like it, yeah. Very close series by far. I mean,
Probably a very interesting, interesting matchup so far for this tier today.
yeah, as everyone probably noticed, it's just very solid turn play. And this just shows how much turn can do just from 2 bases. You see how he didn't expand even now.
Yeah,
Although his main is almost mine out if this attack didn't succeed. I think it's gonna be the repetition of the game number 2, but luckily for Chen, this worked out for him very well.
I mean, Icewind was able to deny that third expansion twice this game, but like you said, Terran was able to just adapt and play off 2 base and win. Well, he hasn't won yet, but I mean, at this point,
I think that's
uh,
just what's he doing every TVP, just his style, maybe you can call it like that. And yeah, GG. So Hager
GG.
taking game number 3 and proceeding his team to victory in this series.
Another win for Cheese Police.
Yeah, Terrence playing great this today. Okay. So 2 PvPs are on the way, guys.
Oh, I need to study that for tonight.
Yeah, maybe write down some notes.
I got my pen ready.
It's not like I can lecture you on PvP, but still
No,
maybe you'll get some useful information out of whatever we are doing here.
yeah. Some people love
You can
PvP,
join.
some people hate CPL 2.
Hate
Some people
CPL
hate
2.
it. No, yeah, they hate CPL 2. Some people hate PvP, they find it boring. Um, we'll see. It's not my favorite to study. It's a very, very strategic, very tactical kind of kind of play. A lot of subtleties, and I think the better at Protoss you are, the more you understand the the interactions and the timings, the more enjoyable watching PvP will be.
Okay, you can hold that thought because we got Benno spawning at the left side of the Ascension against.
Against Mr. Naklar for Cheese Police in the orange Protoss at the 4 o'clock.
Right. Actually, maybe you don't remember, but Bena is the kind of guy that was casting before you with me. I think it was him.
I wasn't there
Yeah,
for that
yeah,
yeah
yeah, he was
time.
from Germany and agreed to cast with me, and I think it went great. It was first cast for both of us then.
Oh yeah. I remember now. Yeah, I did watch that
Ah,
cast.
yeah, you did. Yeah, I
That's
remember
where
that too.
that's where I discovered you, was during that cast.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
do you remember us casting Naklar a few weeks ago?
Against Okoini, maybe it was
Yeah, yeah,
PVZ, and
Naklar
he went
Okwini.
Mass Archon slip game because he managed to bank a lot of Western gas.
There's a yeah, I remember that game. There's a funny clip somewhere on the Discord about that game.
You think?
Yeah, with all the Archons.
I don't think so actually, because
No?
all of the clips are on your channel. Maybe it was clip, right? Because you were the
Uh,
caster.
wha- yeah, I'll check.
Okay, never mind. Actually, speaking about PvP, I witnessed very weird PvP once when I was casting with a guy named Veer. We were casting the Brood War Clan League finals this year, and it was Dewalt against Bonnet, who are considered the best foreigners Protoss out there. And at the first map, they both decided to go DTs, you know, independently, and
Yeah.
it was a very wild game because they were eliminating each other, but both of them managed to build like several photon cannons, so there were no possibility for them to eliminate each other, so it was basically a draw. But Dewall decided to leave the game, so it was Bonnet victory, which is unfortunate because the game could have ended with a draw. It was like the draw in StarCraft is so rare, and
How
I
do
was
you end in it? How does a draw happen?
you just agree that it's a draw and that's it. You
Oh,
just restart the match. But yeah, it could have happened because
all
nobody
right.
could eliminate each other and nobody could have attacked because
So back on this game,
yeah.
on Benno's side, his I thought I saw a later cybernetic score. I think he's just slightly later on the cybernetic core. It looked to me like it was way later than it is, but it's not that late. But that does mean that Naklar will finish his Dragoon range first, has a
Hmm.
Zealot going. Benno instead has a Dragoon.
Yeah, two zealots for Banner and Dragoon for Naklar. Zealot and Dragoon for Naklar, really. And yeah, so symmetrical build for both opponents. I think that's actually what you should do in your match because it's very safe. If you scout your opponent and see that he's doing something like this, I think it's okay for you to like copy
Yeah,
whatever
well,
those players doing here.
that's kind of the idea in PvP, is you're trying to mirror until someone makes a decision about tech, and then you know, whoever decides to tech up first, the other guy has to kind of
Adapt.
use that timing to maybe
Hmm.
try and push a bit or attack or something. And whoever finishes the tech first will get the tech advantage.
Yeah, Naklar
So
here
that
is an advantage because he has more dragoons and he is closer to his base, so the reinforcement is close, and he does have range. Well, Bena doesn't yet. And
yeah, and I
Bena's.
think
Hmm.
at the T3 level, I think good macro will be a bigger factor than good strategy. You know?
You mean in your match because this is tier two.
Oh, this is there too. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we see observatory and very late support pay, but I mean it doesn't matter because uh, maybe it does matter because Bena is defending this. It seems like just ignoring that zealot, focusing down dragoons. Oh, and he lost all of his dragoons, so now there's two against one dragoon and even one zealot in addition. But two gateways for Bena. Maybe if he pulls some probes, it will help him. But he decided to pull probes to the gas. This is a very big mistake. Why?
Yeah. Probes are not that weak in StarCraft 1. You can kind of use your workers if
Yeah,
you have to.
they can surround the dragoon and kill. And when you're pulling probes back and forth, it won't help you defend. But yeah, zealot, I mean dragoons are out, and it will help Bena to defend. There's only one dragoon left for Naklar. Mm. And the river's out
Your
actually.
first Reaver, yeah. So that's a huge deal having a Reaver. But there's also a Reaver on Naklar's side.
Yeah, but Bena lost it immediately. They didn't have enough. I mean, the only correct decision for him would have been to pull some probes to help him defend, not lose the river and all of his dragoons. Of course, now it's too late to talk about that.
Yeah,
I think now it's gonna be a problem for him when shuttle will be out and those two rivers of Naklar will fly over Bena's base and will kill
yeah,
everything
and
basically.
Naklar's in the, he's applying pressure onto Benno's base. And as long as he can maintain that pressure, uh, he's in a sort of advantage.
Yeah, he's in dominant position,
Yeah.
but
There is like the defender's advantage where, your reinforcements are immediate when you build them. Like we just saw. That dragoon came out and
yeah,
just cleared the dragoon.
and another advantage you can use is the probe.
Also, yeah, the probe.
Okay, so Naklar actually has two rivers and shuttles on the way, and actually his nexus is up, and it seems like he's in a great position. Couldn't wish more after that attack. Killing a lot of probes, exchanging dragoons, even killing a river.
Yeah. And we're seeing, yeah, two Reavers on the Klar side. The shuttle is ready. Not a lot of units, but it's not such a big deal because he kind of won that first little engagement there. So Benno has to rebuild an army.
Yeah, he does have three gateways, and
Yeah,
actually Naklar does have two, but I mean
but
three
has the
gateways as
natural.
well. Yeah, he has
Benno
the
doesn't
Nexus
have the
up very early, and he has shuttle with two rivers, which is great. And I think if Naklar did rally just his units to the Bandus Natural,
yeah,
he maybe could have win this game immediately. Oh, and he's gonna lose the shuttle. Almost, barely survived.
almost. Yeah, that's a bit of a. I don't know that I would have done that against Protoss, just sending in the shuttle alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You maybe want to try and micro your Reaver in an engagement. Uh,
Well, there are
before doing that, but
two choices for you. Either you drop those river to your opponent's mineral line, or you send your army together with the river and then just try to kill your opponent.
yeah,
And it seems like that's what gonna do right now. Since Bena only have 4 dragoons, it seems like. Oh, he's trying to catch the river, but mm, he's not there yet. And where's the observer of Beno? It was at his opponent's. Oh, maybe he was sniped. observer was sniped maybe. So Bena doesn't know that his opponent Naklar is moving across the map to kill
All
him,
those
finish the
Reavers,
game.
yeah.
Hmm.
Do you still see that shuttle somewhere? I have it
Yeah, it's
selected. I
with the
don't
army.
see it.
It's
Oh,
with
there
the
it is.
army.
Okay, yeah. Oh, this is yeah. This is the fight right here.
Whoops, lost both of his dragoons.
Reavers
Needs,
instantly.
yeah, rivers and
Yeah.
trying to focus down another river and yeah, barely managed to do that, but lost all of his dragoons. And Beno is up in dragoon count. It seems like there are some back at the base of Naklar. And it seems like he has two shuttles and one river. How are they gonna split it? Picked up on the most damaged shuttle, and I see some Naruto expansion here at 12 o'clock. Hmm, does not. I think Naklar does not expect it. Oh, and the
Yeah.
shuttle's
Ninja.
gonna be
Ninja.
picked. That's the problem with
Yeah.
sending the most damaged shuttle. It's a good thing that there's only one river there, not two. I'm an optimist, you know.
Yeah. And Benno has vision in the middle of the map. Got those observers ready. Got that 12 o'clock building. So he's gonna end up being one base ahead if Naklar doesn't think about scouting.
Mm, yeah, we can't know for sure that he's gonna scout since it's the first game. We saw the previous matches that opponents didn't scout good enough. You know, there were a
Yeah.
lot of unscouted territory there. So the army composition for opponents is 8 dragoons and 3 zealots, and here's 9 dragoons. So 3 zealots are gonna help a lot, but there's a
Gonna
high
help. Yeah.
ground advantage for Beno. Yeah,
Yeah.
so but Dakar decided just not to move in. Oh, look at how many units there to reinforce for Naklar. That's some scary
Yeah.
army right now, you know?
And Benno is just switching to making a bit more. No, not even going for more goons. It's actually Naklar who's gonna go for Templars and more zealots. Just finished.
Oh, yeah, and he surrounded the Beno's army so he couldn't hold that position anymore. And yeah, it just seems too many units for Naklar. And this river, you know, Beno doesn't
Yeah.
seem like
Oh,
he
he's
has
alone
river.
though. The Reaper's alone. He needs
Hop,
Oh, he gets picked up.
nice micro there. Need to shot and pick it up. Okay.
Yeah. Now the Reaver's in a good spot. That photon cannon gets destroyed.
Yeah, it
The
didn't help
Reaver
much.
the Reaver has
Now he's pulling probes.
yeah.
Won't help you much. I mean, if you don't have river and your opponent does, then it's not much you can do. You can try
Yeah.
to snipe that river so that it won't damage your army more than he should. And GG, Banner taps out, and Knuckler taking first game of this series. Okay, let's proceed. Uh, you can join the game if you're here.
Yeah. I'm downloading. All right. Cool. You can start. Give me just 1 second. You can introduce. I will be right back.
Fine. So we got Beno spawning at the top left against Naklar. Orange Protoss again spawning at the bottom right of Polaris Rhapsody. As usual for game number 2 this week. And I didn't switch the scene, am I? Oops, wrong one. Okay. So I gathered another statistics for those two players, and it seems like both of those players were playing hmm, 2 times, and Naklar won both of the games, and Beno won one and lost one. So it seems like Naklar is just taking every point every week, and maybe he's in position to promote himself to tier 1.
When does those promotion usually happen? At the end of the league or each
No,
week?
it was this week when you got assigned to a team. It was
Oh,
swapping of tiers. So, for example, Zoe was demoted to tier 3, I know, and there were some players that were promoted in BBS team as well. So, I don't know about other teams. It wasn't published anywhere. So, yeah. And
have you noticed how early the scouting is in PvP? You really want to get that knowledge of the mirror matchup. You
well,
really want to know,
mhm.
is he going more zealots, more dragoon? How many of each things? Am I ahead in probe? You know what's going on. Feel like the scouting is a bit early for than another matchup.
No, I think it's the same as in TBT. You just send after the gas. It seems like, no? Maybe after the gateway, but not like after the pylon. But maybe it's different on 4-player maps. But in 2-player maps, you just know where your opponent is and then just send there and see if there's 1 gate or 2 gate, and then you adapt. I think it's simple as that.
Well, in PvT you can delay the probe a bit. You don't need it that early.
You mean the scout? You can delay the scout, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, in TBT, the same thing. You can't this early. Even if it's gonna be BBS, it's gonna be very hard for you to lose. You're just gonna try a lot because you have those beefy units called SCV
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them. I mean, probes are a lot weaker than SCVs, but still, as we saw in the last game, if Beno pulled out his probes, he could have defended much more easily, and there would have been less damage for him. So we see the mirror, exact mirror. The range is even at the same time, and there's no tech yet. Here we go, the robotics facility for Beno, and
Yeah.
it's funny how they both place them at the same place, close to the ramp. You see?
Yeah.
Their
Well,
building placement are even mirror, kinda.
you that reaver is slow, and if you have to defend, that doesn't mean you're gonna have a shuttle ready in time. So moving that robotic a bit closer can help defend the natural.
We see some sneaky probe at the 3 o'clock. What's he doing? Is he just scouting there, trying to play some Nexus, as Beno was trying to do at the first game? And now Naklar is attacking again. Oh no, Dragoons are already at his main, seeing everything he's doing, but I mean, oh, now he's pulling the probes, but he needs Dragoons to support those probes, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
probes are gonna get. Oh, a nice surrounder by Beno, but probes are not attacking. He needs to focus fire the Dragoons with probes, especially now when the Dragoon is in the mineral line. Where are
and I don't
units? He's not
I don't
building any.
don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but we're seeing a robotics support bay from Benno, and that's a bit of a special choice. I don't know what he's trying to do with the support bay.
I think that's exactly what he was doing first game. Well, support base for rivers. No, you can't build rivers without the support bay.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something to note for your match.
yeah.
And
That's just because I haven't played. Yeah, I don't know.
and actually,
I used to not.
Beno managed to sneak two dragoons to his opponent's base now, even dealing some damage. And see how he micros with this 3 HP dragoon. He managed to kill some probes. Okay, now it's got cleared out, and so both opponents were attacking each other. And who did more damage? It seems like Naklar has more probes left.
What's what was confusing me about the support bay is that I found it to be very early for Reaver, which is not necessarily bad at all. It was just a risky move.
Why? He did
Well,
get observatory first and then support bay, like at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah,
But he
but
did
the army
scout that.
count was low.
Well, yeah, couldn't maybe afford building dragoons and building those tech buildings. But yeah, it kind of worked out. And Naklar has 3 gateways against 1. And yeah, he got river with shuttle.
Going in.
Mm-hmm.
He has some dragoons.
Will he move out with his dragoons? I don't think so, since the last time he tried to attack it didn't went well. And Banner did the exact same thing. He just put 2 rivers at the natural, and it helped him defend.
Yeah, and he's going for the solo shuttle again, like in the first game.
Yeah, this
But this
time.
time,
Mhm.
sneaks through.
Oh, very lucky for Banner that probes decided to move between the buildings, so those 2 scarabs didn't do a lot of damage. And look at how many probes are stacked there. Oh, and 2 rivers saved the day, just one-shotting the
He got
river of Naklar.
Well, he got unlucky with the Reaper in the main managed to shoot twice, but the missile got stuck.
Yeah, and the immediate retaliation by Bano killing that river with 2 shots. Oh my god, unbelievable. How unlucky is that? Yeah, well, I mean, he couldn't know that there were 2 rivers there. He was so excited to kill those probes when he saw them. That could have been a lot of damage. Lucky for Bena, it didn't work out for Nakar. But look at how many dragoons there are. 11 dragoons. Beno doesn't have this many. Where where does he spend all of his money? I mean minerals. There's only one gateway, and he doesn't have resources.
Yeah, and or a bigger army.
Oh, I don't like what Naklar is doing. So he's maybe Soto's 2 rivers, but he underestimates them. You know?
Yeah, no, Naklar is in a is in a decent position here
Yeah, he kind of
to
contains the
defend.
Bannock now, but it's
Yeah,
not like he can out-expand him now, since just early game for both of them after that attacks.
the the concave here is going to be super important. So if Benno can use more of that real estate, push back maybe those dragoons even more closer to the nexus, and the reaver's a bit behind. You don't need to be in front of the nexus that close, and force Naklar into that little entrance there and get the better concave. That can be huge when you're defending, especially if you have the reaver advantage. There's a really good video by oh, Brain that explains this, how to defend when you don't have the unit count in your favor, how to defend a PvP at your natural, and it's this exact scenario here.
Hey Lana is hot. It it's actually gonna be your match next. So it is tier 2 as you can suspect. And yeah, while you were saying, I saw that there's gonna be DT drops for Naklar. Oh, and he decided to go in and snipe that river. He did do that, and now it's gonna be the end of the game because he's just overwhelming with those dragoons. Oh, easy though. There's another river out. Yeah, he just don't know what to do with his army, and yeah. And that DT drop is gonna be devastating because there's no observer for. Is it brown observer?
Yeah,
I think it
whose
is.
observer?
I think it is brown. I don't see any dot on the minimap, so it should be.
Yeah, true.
Imagine if he sniped at observers uh,
Mm,
when he was attacking instead of running back and forth with dragoons.
yeah.
Let's see how many probes will he manage to kill before
There's no warning
Benno
because it's
notice it. Yeah,
not.
exactly.
Yeah,
And he does notice. And you know what the other problem is for Protoss is that probes doesn't leave any body behind, unlike Zerg, for example. Zerg leave
yeah.
the pile of blood, so when you look at your mineral line, you can see the dead bodies of drones and you
Oh,
can react.
yeah.
But with probes, you can do that. Only see blue explosions here and there, which will. Yeah, and while Beno was chasing down DDT, Naklar just went in and snipes the
Snipe
river,
the Reaver. Yeah.
and he can even maybe snipe the Nexus, but he decided to stay like at the bottom of the ramp, losing a lot of dragoons here. Ouch.
Yeah, that's not a good position there. Benno has the high ground.
Yeah, but that robot is disrupting the dragoon movement, but it worked out okay, but if only Bena didn't lose so many probes and Naklara didn't have another expansion, this would have been a completely different story. But it seems like Naklara is just way ahead this game. Yeah, and let's just make fun of the building placement for Naklar here. Look at his gateways being at three
Further on.
different positions. It's easier for me to see all of the gateways since I zoomed out, but it's just a pain in the ass for a player to build stuff from those gateways.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically Naklar doesn't need to do anything. He can just what's the word? Contain his opponent, like not giving him opportunity to expand anywhere and build your army, maybe maxing out. build High Templars with Storms, like proceeding to the late game.
Yeah.
Since, I mean, he doesn't have another gas, he's still on 2. That base on 6 o'clock is just mineral only.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good spot.
Yeah, but to balance it out, there's a 2 double gas expansion in the corner, so he will take it and it's gonna be great for him.
Yeah, chooses not to use the bridge, which is wise. If you can avoid the bridge, avoid the bridge.
And there's no river for Bano, so maybe Naklar can finish this game now, since he has
Yeah.
speed lots that are tanking some shots. And upgrade situation is even, but yeah, it seems like... Oh, river is out actually. Wait a minute. Yeah, maybe those shots of rivers will do help
Yeah,
Bana to
because
hold this.
two dragoons there from that reaver shot.
And river decided just to stay there. Okay, finally managed to defend it. There was no reinforcement there for Naklar. He's still on 5-6 gateways, banking up 200 minerals. Uh, it seems
He
like
does.
he need, yeah, Vespan gas. He spent a lot of Vespan for High Templars, which are loaded to in the shuttle. So he's not producing a river anymore. Decided to proceed to more.
More, yeah, to Templars.
Yeah, maybe they are more reliable damage output since scarabs are too stupid. But High Templars, you can just cast the storm at the back, opponent's dragoon at the back, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be very hard for him to micro out of the storm. And
yeah, reaver is really strong, but it's not strong forever.
oh, and I think Naklar is just gonna storm the economy of his broadest opponent. Yeah, it seems like it's
Will it
what's
work
gonna be.
though?
Why
You
not?
gotta. Well, you have a good amount. Okay, so it's being supported by. I thought he was just going to send in the shuttle alone, but now the Templar has the diversion he needs, pulls out that storm, and it works. Destroys all of the probe at the natural, merging into an Archon
Yeah, but I
as the
mean,
fight goes on.
even in the different situation when the like didn't he didn't have army ready to attack, he could have dropped the High Templar like on the high ground behind the mineral line
Oh yeah, yeah.
and storm out of there.
Use the shuttle for vision and
You don't even need vision, you just cast in the fog of war, assuming there are probes mining there. And yeah, GG from Bana and Naklar. Very convincing victory for him, taking the series 2-0. So we're gonna proceed to the last series for today between Canadium and Lana is Hot.
two names that I love.
Why do you love Canadium?
Cause I'm Canadian.
I love it because I'm a chemist and it reminds me of some chemical element made up.
Yeah, is Canadian an element? No, eh?
No,
It's not
it's
a real
made
element.
up element. Like,
Yeah.
well,
There's Americanium, that's a real element, I think.
it's americium.
Americium
Yeah, at least.
in the heavier elements,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all of new, well, all of elements actually named with Latinic end of the word So Canadium, and there's another one with I don't remember who is it. Anyway, let's start the game since you're in.
Yeah, I'm in. Back on Ascension, rapidly becoming my least favorite map for Protoss. But this time it's going to be a Protoss versus Protoss, so that kind of changes the deal here.
Yeah, and we have Lana is hot. At the left side of the map is brown Protoss.
Yeah, and our Canadium on the right side in the pink Protoss.
Yeah, and like some time ago I learned that this color is called magenta. Like it's you can call it pink, but some people who very sensitive about colors will call you out and tell it's magenta.
Magenta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what about Lana is hot? First, when I saw his nickname, I thought it's read as Lanai shot. Типа, I don't know who is Lanai and why it shots, but it made sense for me back then. But then I saw the picture of Lana Del Rey, and someone wrote that she's hot, and then it clicked for me.
Yeah, there's a few Lana. In chat, they're talking about Archer. It's a TV show, and there's a Lana character that's popular in that show. So there's a lot of. It could be referencing a lot of things.
Yeah, we will never know what it is.
Unless we ask.
Yeah, if
And
only
that is
if
the shame.
only he or she was in the chat. Well, I think it's he.
Yeah.
And yeah, he says that it's Clark Kent's girlfriend in high school, Lana Lang. Hmm, very specific, I think. Never would have thought about that, but good to know. Okay, so you know that the Lana is hot has played two PvPs this CPL, and he won one and lost another one, while Canadium only played once and lost the series, unfortunately.
Okay.
So
So
they
Lana.
belong to their tier very well, I think.
Yeah. And you think that makes Lana the stronger opponent here?
Maybe, but we'll see. I don't like I always watch at the players APM, and it's very scary for me while I see the Lana is hot APM. It's below 100, which tells something for me. But I actually remember that I played him in the preseason week 1, and I don't think he win a single game that week. But yeah, let's see how it goes at the regular season for him. Okay, so both opponents scouted, there's nothing sneaky going on yet. Managed to kill the probe very easily, I think. Anyway, yeah, before he put down some tech building.
Yeah. We're going to see the robotics.
Yeah, so Lana is hot telling that I remember everything correctly, and yeah, good to know.
Oh, we take this seriously. Duran did his research before the
No,
games.
I just remember that
Oh,
that that group of ours were casted.
right.
Yeah, I think it went like never mind. And interesting building placement for Canadian, putting his gateway as far as possible from the entrance, and he's going DT drop,
Yeah.
and while Lana is hard, just skipping on observatory for now and putting down robotics, which can be dangerous for him since he won't be prepared for the DTs. He won't have any detection,
Nope.
and the yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of possibilities for Protoss to counter invisibility. Either you put down photon cannons or you build observer. That's it. Well,
Yeah.
you can actually like storm them
Yeah.
and potentially even maybe kill them with the river splash if you target your own units. But that's just something from Fantastics there. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Could the Dark Archon do anything?
Anything useful, you
Not
mean?
really. Yeah, against
He
a
can.
Dark Templar? No.
Oh, yeah, he can Maelstrom. You're right. Since Dark Templar are bionicle units, the Dark Archon can Maelstrom, and it will be visible for the duration of the spell. Oh, it would have been funny if the shuttle would have been sniped. 2 shots. Okay, there were gonna be 5 shots more to kill it. Okay, and
Those Dark Templars
DT
are
are
gonna
out.
drop.
Now he can snipe the probe with the river, but he's just gonna tap out.
Instant GG. Yeah.
And this is the situation that I was referring to. You can just
And it.
make river attack the probe and splash damage Dark Templars and maybe even kill both of them since they are clamped. But it will kill only one probe of yours because your splash does not damage your units even if you
Oh,
attack your units. It's not like siege tanks or spider mine. Rivers does not damage your own units, just like lurkers do not.
that's like super useful information that I hope I don't have to use tonight.
Right. So so it seems like Canadian looking very strong this series. Taking game number one. Very unlucky build order loss there for Lana is hot.
Yeah.
He did not go observatory, which is
Well, both
like
sides didn't go observers, but yeah.
yeah, kinda. Yeah, you're right. But maybe since you're going DT, then if your opponent goes DT, it's like a draw or elimination war.
Yeah.
You can join the game.
Polaris. So what I'm noticing is that this first map Ascension in PvP doesn't matter all that much compared to PvT, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, I'm gonna start the game, switch the overlay, and we're gonna see that there's a Canadian spawning at the top left of Polaris Rhapsody as a Teal Protoss.
And sorry, we have Lana is hot at the top
Oops.
Bottom right, also Protoss.
Yes, so as Lannis Hot is pointing out in the chat, he didn't think that his opponent could make DT drop or even DTs as at all. He was thinking only that there is a possibility for river. Yeah, but for your match today, you just need to build observatory as fast as possible and
Yeah.
don't worry about anything. Yeah. Well, if you scout that your opponent is doing something different, like 2 gateways before tech or before cybernetic or even, then you need to adapt. But if it's the same build order you're doing, then you can just build observatory and hope that you won't lose it when the time comes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you sending your first observer to your opponent base and there's the T drop at your main and you forget to build
Oh,
observer, another observer? Yeah, that's a terrible situation to be in.
or losing that first observer is always bad.
Well, the only possible way you can lose your first observer is if your opponent has observer. So it
Also,
won't
that
be a
one.
big deal. You won't need it to counter DTs because your opponent has observers, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
The scouting will go on.
Yeah, Zoe pointed out that another possibility is photon cannons to
For the
lose observers. Imagine if your opponent goes DTs and Forge and you lose your observer to the cannons because and there's DT and he remains. Wow, that would have been bad. But how likely is that?
Yeah,
Maybe it's,
especially early on. It's not
yeah, we are
like
talking about the fastest
later. Yeah.
DT. No, no, no. Fastest DT is possible and
Okay.
fastest
Yeah.
observer. We're talking about first observer. You don't need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
lose
Yeah.
it, and if there's can, then yeah. Okay, never mind. Whew. So, where tech for Canadian?
Tiny bit ahead on the Dragoon range, but they're mirroring each other very closely.
Yeah, I don't have enough gas yet to make some tech building. So I think Lana is hard this game is just gonna play it safe as possible. Just not to lose the game as in the first game. Or easy. Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
And funny thing is that Canadium adds second gateway before any tech. So there's a difference for you. So I think you're
And
gonna
the robot
be in the Lana is hot situation in your match, right? Like you will
in
be
the more
building
standard.
robotics, yeah, and follow up with observatory,
Yeah.
staying at your base, waiting for observer, and let's see how it can turn out against what Canadium is doing. Oh, never mind. Lana is hot is just repeating whatever he's doing in the first game. Just assuming that his opponent won't do the same thing 2 games in a row.
Twice. Yeah.
Well, bold assumption there. But it seems like it will work out for him. It seems like Canadium is gonna expand, and I don't remember you telling that. But if you want to expand, then good way to like make yourself easier to defend in the future is to put pylon at the front, so that your opponent's units will be distracted by that pylon.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, where the zealot is standing right now, you can build a pylon, maybe deeper in the natural, but still somewhere there, and
yeah,
just build an arc of your units, and it will help you a lot when you feel like your opponent is having more gateways than you are. So this way you can defend your nexus easier. Some fight going on at the bridge. Yeah, never seen the someone crossing the bridge in the PvP. But
yeah. That's special.
is there other way? I mean, it's very scary for Protoss to move around because there is a possibility that your opponent will move across the
Cool.
bridge at some point,
Yeah.
and
But I think Canadium correctly identified that it was just 4 dragoons, and he has a bit more.
he's gonna catch the shuttle. Oh no, that's very unlucky. He
Yeah,
couldn't even imagine that something like that will happen because he just saw Canadium's unit moving across the bridge. So what's the possibility that he's gonna be moving at that high ground? And Canadium managed to move across the map, and there's only 2 dragoons at the land is
yeah.
shot natural, which are gonna be sniped. And
Now it's a race, but
yeah,
Canadium
Canadium
is ahead.
will defend his natural, I mean, the ramp easily, and it's gonna be GG. And Lana is hot. Just
Yeah,
losing this series, very unfortunate.
that shuttle decided the game.
Well, kinda, yeah, maybe. It would have helped him to fight, but it didn't work out. Yeah. So we see that Canadium took one series for Pacific Fire at this tier 2 match against Chase Police. Whoops. Okay, so we'll wrap it up right now. So thank you for watching this cast. Thank you, Darkhan, for joining in as a
Yeah,
co-caster.
always fun to cast with you.
Yeah, same. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you probably next week. So
And
see you later.
join the CPL Discord if you're not on it. Coach-Pupil League. Look it up on the Discord. It's also on Team Liquid. It's a friendly StarCraft league for beginners.
Right. Okay. So see you guys later. Bye.